This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, December 27th, 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The FBI investigated an American nonprofit at the behest of the Russian government without any accusation of criminal wrongdoing, according to Bureau documents reviewed by our Ryan Lovelace. The Russian request and the FBI's ensuing probe into the MacArthur Foundation date back more than 18 years. In May 2004, Russia requested information confirming the existence of the foundation and information on transfers of $4.5 million in grants to Ukrainian citizens. The Chicago-based foundation has a $7 billion endowment and supports journalism and social causes such as justice, climate change, and nuclear risk, with grant recipients in approximately 50 countries around the world. The foundation said an office in Moscow it's maintained since 1992 sought to help Russia's transition to democracy after the fall of the Soviet Union. A nearly 60,000 square mile area of Ukraine is virtually uninhabitable according to the Ukrainian government because of the presence of landmines and other deadly explosives. Mike Glenn reports some of the explosives date all the way back to 2014. Many are from the war that has ravaged large swaths of the country as well since Russian forces invaded in February. U.S. officials expect it to be one of the largest such efforts since the end of World War II. Undertaking such a task is difficult enough during peacetime, but seemingly insurmountable while the fighting continues. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find the entire lineup of Washington Times podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. President Biden has appointed more district court judges than his predecessor did during the first 23 months of their presidencies. Still, court watchers say most of Biden's nominees have replaced Democratic judges, not Republican appointees. Alex Sawyer reports Biden has had 28 judges confirmed to circuit courts, 68 to district courts, and 1 to the Supreme Court. Former President Trump had 30 appointments to circuit courts, 53 to district courts, and 2 to the Supreme Court in his first 2 years. Analysts say Biden's nominees have been mostly young, diverse, and representative of different backgrounds of experience than most judicial appointees of prior presidents. His nominees also don't seem to be from large law firms, and many have public defender backgrounds rather than typical prosecutorial experience. Looking at another marker at the midpoint of his term, the nation's economic performance under President Biden has been a mixed bag of record-high inflation, rising interest rates, and steady job gains. Dave Boyer reports the Labor Department's estimate of more than 1 million jobs added in the second quarter of this year was refuted this month. The Federal Reserve of Philadelphia pegged the job gains from March to June at only 10,500. Republicans say a massive increase in government spending fueled inflation, which hit an annual rate of 9.1% in June. The president's push for green energy initiatives at the expense of fossil fuels angered many, especially when gas prices hit record highs this summer. Biden also promised to waive student loan debt for people earning less than $125,000 a year. He did so through executive action in an announcement on August 24th, but several court challenges have stalled that move. And finally, another round of released Twitter documents show a company executive wanted then-President Trump's "Don't Be Afraid of COVID" post labeled as misinformation after he overcame the disease in October 2020. Joseph Clark reports Twitter since fired Deputy General Counsel James Baker linked to the post in an email to Yoel Roth, the social media platform's head of trust and safety. Roth replied he was unable to remove the post because it didn't fall within the published scope of our policies. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.